So a while back, a non-musician friend of mine asked me what I was using as my go-to Bluetooth studio music production headphones. And he was honestly equally surprised and disappointed when I told him that as far as I knew, there was no such thing. While the civilians out there were happily walking around free and wireless, us music-making folk were still firmly tied with cables to our interfaces and groove boxes. Which is quite frankly one of the most annoying things ever, because every time I need to move around in here, I will inevitably get my headphones tangled up and knock over one or more things, and since I do most of my music making at night, I end up waking up the entire house, which my wife has told me she's not a huge fan of. The problem with Bluetooth is that even though it's an incredibly versatile bit of technology, it wasn't specifically designed for audio. It has a relatively small bandwidth, so in order to stream audio, Bluetooth devices have to compress and then decompress that information, resulting in degradation and lower audio resolution than that of the original file. And what may be even worse, noticeable lag or even full-on dropouts in the stream of audio. For everyday consumption purposes, like streaming music on your cell phone or watching a video on YouTube, that's not really a problem. But if you've ever bravely tried hooking these things up to your DAW and attempted to record something in live, you know I'm not kidding when I say that it's completely unusable, because it's impossible to play to a metronome with that kind of delay. Fortunately, the folks over at IIain Audio seem to have found a solution. These right here are the TMA2 Studio Wireless Plus headphones, and it looks like they have finally managed to make the studio headphone wireless stream become a reality. Okay, so how did they solve the Bluetooth problem? Well, for starters, they kind of ditched Bluetooth entirely. Well, maybe entirely is a bit too much, since these headphones do support Bluetooth connection for casual audio duties, but for serious audio production, they came up with something else. As I said earlier, the two major issues with Bluetooth for heavy audio work are low quality audio and latencies of upwards 200 milliseconds. Both of these problems stem from the native bandwidth constraint that necessitates audio compression and decompression. Logically, if you have more bandwidth available, you won't need to compress the audio, resulting in high fidelity and less latency. So that's exactly what they did. They came up with this little box called the W+ Link. This system uses two antennas that transmit information multiple times and in parallel, resulting in a consistent 16 millisecond latency and no dropouts. All of this in a 12-meter range in case you want to keep listening to your track while you have a bathroom break or you want to go make yourself some coffee. Now, I tested this around my apartment and I was surprised at how far I was able to move around. While 16 milliseconds is still not zero delay, in practice, I found that it's not really noticeable enough to disrupt your live recording or playing. I tested that out doing some finger drumming on my MPC and recording live on guitar, and I was happy to see that I could do so with no real issues. I heard some people could start noticing the delay if they had some sort of speaker plugged into their setup, so I tried to replicate that using the TMA2s and the MPC's built-in speaker, but honestly, even when finger drumming, I can't really hear phasing or lag. I do have to say, I really underestimated how freeing it was to be able to move around my studio grabbing my guitar and my bass without getting that occasional head pull or worrying about breaking something when I turned around in my chair. Before moving forward, please know that IIain sent these headphones for me to review, but no money changed hands and they have no say over the contents of this video or my opinions here. This video does have a sponsor, the good folks over at Sweetwater. Sweetwater is one of the biggest names in music gear retail, and I've been buying from them for years now. They carry everything a musician needs to build up their studio or synth basement, from electric guitars, effect pedals, synths, group boxes, and, you guessed it, even wireless headphones. You can actually find the TMA2 Studio Wireless Plus currently at a discount at Sweetwater's site right now. Every time you buy your gear at Sweetwater using my link in the description, your gas helps keep this channel up and running. Thank you so much, Sweetwater, for supporting me and other creators like me. Now, back to the video. As for the audio quality on the headphones, well, I ran into a bit of a snag. Not with the headphones themselves, mind you, but with how to actually show you how they sound in this video. You see, usually I review synths here, and that's really easy because I just record them directly into my interface and you can hear pretty much what I'm hearing. But with headphones, you know what I mean? But no worries, I am nothing if not resourceful, and I think I figured it out. Pretty good, right? Okay, so obviously that's not going to work, but I can at least describe what I'm hearing. IIain claims that this system allows for 1500 kilobits per second of uncompressed audio streaming. For reference, MP3 quality is around 300 and CDs are around 1400, so this is way above that. In the time that I've been using them, I feel that the sound quality is definitely way up there with the highest I've experienced in pretty much any headphone so far. And for reference, I've been using these DT900 Pro X's for quite a while and I really love them. They have great clarity, especially in the highs and the mids. And as for the bass, though a smidge brighter than on my DT990s, it's still very deep and enjoyable. The ear pads are made with memory foam and alcantara, and they wrap around the ears very nicely. The longest I'd used them so far in a single session has been around 3 hours, and I didn't feel that the headphones got uncomfortable or hot or tight. They also feel surprisingly light compared to my other headphones, which I didn't expect given all the internal circuitry that these things are packing. IIain use special biocellulose diaphragms, which they claim offer high quality, low distortion audio playback while also being very lightweight. The battery life, according to IIain, is up to 80 hours on Bluetooth mode and 16 hours over Wi-Fi. Plus, you can always plug in with the included TRS cable in case you ever run out of power. Finally, I want to touch on something that has nothing to do with the audio itself, but that I find that really deserves mentioning, and that is that this entire headphone is modular, if you will. When you open the box, it comes in separate bags that you'll need to assemble like you would a Lego kit. It's all pretty straightforward, and it took me around 5 minutes to do, but what makes this modularity really cool is that these headphones were designed with sustainability in mind. Not only are the materials eco-friendly, but you can also replace any part of the headphone if it happens to break or malfunction, which is something that regrettably has happened to me a lot over the years with multiple headsets. As far as cons go, I guess having this extra dongle with the transmitter means having one more thing that you need to remember to take with you and to charge, but honestly, I think it's a pretty small price to pay for being able to run around loose. Other reviewers have reported that they heard a slight hissing sound in certain situations, but I haven't really run into that problem myself, so I can't really comment. Correction, yes, I can comment, because as luck would have it, I just ran into the aforementioned hissing. Hi, Midlife Video Editor here, and right now I'm putting together the video that you are currently watching, kind of like an Inception situation. As of the time of my previous statement, I had only been using the TMA 2s with my hardware synths, MPC Live, Octatrack and such. Something that all of those things have in common is that they have very loud audio output, so I had these headphones at around 60% volume. Final Cut, on the other hand, especially when it comes to my voiceovers, tends to be very quiet, so I had to turn up the volume on the TMA 2s all the way up, and only then, when I hit pause on my video and there's complete silence, I can hear the slightest hiss. It's not exactly loud and it's not exactly noise, but I don't think it's noticeable enough to be a problem. My suggestion to avoid this altogether would be to just use these with the source volume all the way up so that you can keep the volume on the headphones themselves at less than maybe 80% or so. So yeah, I've got to say, I've been very pleasantly surprised with my experience with the TMA 2 so far, especially now that I've been using multiple instruments with my Live 3. Not having to worry about the headphone cables every time I turn to reach around for something means one less distraction to keep my mind focused on what I'm doing. That freedom would mean nothing if the audio quality wasn't there, but I'm happy to report that both the audio and user experience on these have been great. If you're looking for wireless, pro-level headphones for your music production, definitely check out the IIain TMA 2 Studio Wireless Plus. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this video useful, or at least entertaining. Have a great week. I'll see you next time.